Good evening, friends. My name is Mrs. Santa Claus, but you can call me Mrs. C. All my friends do. And I've come down to the Blount County Public Library because I heard so many amazing stories about what a wonderful place it is. And I just couldn't believe all the stories that I heard, so I decided to make a quick trip from the North Pole to find out for myself, and I have not been disappointed. Have you been recently to the Blount County Public Library? It's decorated for Christmas with so many wonderful Christmas trees. Of course, Christmas is my favorite time of year. I guess that goes without saying. But the trees here are absolutely beautiful. And more than that, I took a tour of the Blount County Public Library and saw so many books, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I've picked out some stories to read to you today, and I have to admit, it was very hard choosing only 3 books. I went to the children's department and I saw books. I read a lot of them. Some of them made me laugh, and some of them made me shed a tear or two. There were books about faraway places, and books about sports and science and friendship and art. I could go on, but I invite you, if you live in this community, take advantage of coming to the Blount County Public Library. And today I want to share 3 stories with you. I'm going to start with a wonderful book that was new to me. It's called A Wish to Be a Christmas Tree. I love this book. I love the art in this book. It is by Colleen Monroe, and all of the art is done by Michael Glenn Monroe. It's a beautiful story about one of my favorite things, and that is Christmas trees. Here we start. Every year, as traditions go, they get in their cars at the first sign of snow and head to the farm at the edge of town to cut the family Christmas tree down. As Christmas neared, the trees rejoiced, for families would come and make their choice. Which trees would go and which would stay? "Oh, please pick me," the trees would say. "Take me to your home," said the fat Scotch pine. "Dress me with bulbs and lights," said the fir so fine. They all were excited except for one. He knew that his days of being picked were done. Can you see the very tall tree? He's bigger than all the rest. I've seen my sisters and brothers, daughters and sons, grandkids and great-grandkids picked, one by one. I'll never be taken home. I'm too big and too tall. His sobbing and crying made his pine needles fall. A little squirrel was wandering by and stopped to hear the big tree cry, "Take heart, my friend, and don't you fear. To many of us you are so dear. Your branches keep us safe and warm. You are our shelter from the storm." A cardinal flying by chirped in, "You are my safety from the wind." Said a white-tailed deer who was walking through, "Cheer up, big friend, because I need you. Your needles give me a nice soft bed, a place to lie down and rest my head. These things you say to me are kind, but nothing can really change my mind. All my life I've wanted to be someone's special Christmas tree." With that, he drew his branches in and closed his eyes to dream again, and wished that someday he would be more than just a great big tree. Aww. Fast asleep in dreams far away, he did not hear the little squirrel say, "You will be our Christmas tree. Let us decorate you for all to see." "Come gather around," the little squirrel cried to woodland animals both far and wide. "We need to act without delay to end our great big friend's dismay. He is our friend, this wonderful tree, and do you know where we would be without the special things he gives? I don't know how we all would live." Without ever complaining, he's given these things, yet never knowing the joy that he brings, offering friendship from the very start, never once revealing the dream in his heart. Everyone should bring a treasure so our giant friend can measure the love for him that our hearts hold, the feelings that we've never told. Each animal came with gifts to bear over ground, through the trees, and some through the air, with acorns, icicles, and berries so bright they worked and trimmed into the night. Oh, how beautiful. The crows searched their nests full of shiny things, hoping to find the perfect present to bring. There among their treasures, found from afar, was the most beautiful, bright, shining star. Can you see the star, boys and girls? Oh, he's bringing it. How beautiful. His woodland friends decorated him with special things hanging from every limb. Acorns were dangling off branches strong, berries were strung as a garland so long. The first morning sun brought a wondrous sight as icicles glimmered and captured the light. Colorful birds perched all over the pine, as beautiful as bulbs and just as fine. Blue jays, as blue as a crisp winter day, cardinals, bright red, perched near doves, soft and gray. The birds were singing so soft and clear, their most beautiful songs for the pine tree to hear. The big tree stirred and opened his eyes, and what he saw was such a surprise. You have made me beautiful for all to see, and now I am a Christmas tree. You are more than just a Christmas tree, they said to him. Why can't you see? You are special to us every day of the year. We would be sad if you weren't always near. We're glad you stayed with us all these years, but we're sorry that it caused you tears. We should have told you the many ways you are special to us and brighten our days. Through winter and spring, summer and fall, you are always here to help us all. With that, they gathered around the tree, and suddenly the tree could see it wasn't as important to be a Christmas tree, but to always be the best friend you could be. And every year to celebrate, they come together on that date to decorate from end to end the special tree that is their friend. How beautiful. And what a beautiful story. The story is about a Christmas tree, but it's really about friendship. Friendship is the best gift of all, don't you think? I hope you enjoyed that story. Now, I have another story for you that is about the woodland animals, and also it is about one of my husband's, Mr. Claus's, well, we'll just call him part of the team. And this book is a mystery. I love mysteries. They're my favorite type of book. It's called The Animal Santa. I wonder if you, with the character in this book, can figure out who is the animal Santa. This book is by Jan Brett. You've probably read some of her books before. She's a beautiful illustrator, and I love the detail in all her pictures. It's your first Christmas Eve, little Snow. The animal Santa comes tonight, Big Snowshoe told his little brother. Who is the animal Santa? Little Snow asked. We don't know who he is, Big Snowshoe said. Did you ever see him? Little Snow asked. No, the forest animals chimed in, but we find presents from him on Christmas. Last year, I found a heart-shaped wishing stone on my pillow when I woke up, Big Snowshoe told him. I was asleep when I heard ding-dong, ding-dong. I opened my eyes and this little bell was right there next to me, the porcupine said. The Raven twins called. A puzzle toy was hanging from our tree branch on Christmas morning. We woke up and found a tasty sack of plump acorns, the squirrel cousins chattered. "Someone left me a brush to fluff my beautiful tail," the Arctic fox said proudly. Little Snow hadn't said a word. "Wouldn't someone have seen his tracks in the snow?" he asked. "I think you are fooling me." "No, we aren't," Big Snowshoe said. He wasn't sure who the animal Santa might be, but he believed he would come on Christmas. "We think he's a badger," the squirrels chattered. "His thick fur coat keeps him warm in the far north." "No," the Raven twins cawed. "There's always snow at Christmas, and if there's a blizzard, it would take a polar bear to find his way." So maybe the animal Santa is a polar bear. "I'm sure he's a moose," the porcupine told them. "He can plow his way through deep snowy drifts." "He could be a wolf," the Arctic fox said, smiling. "There is no animal Santa," Little Snow shouted, "and anyone who thinks so is silly." "I believe there is," Big Snowshoe told him, but he wished that he had seen the animal Santa so he could be really sure. "No, no, no!" Little Snow thumped his thumper foot so hard it shattered the ice on the stream. Broken bits slid across in a starburst, making jingly, jangly noises. "What a beautiful sound," Big Snowshoe thought as he helped his brother up the bank. "It's starting to feel like Christmas. Let's go home and get warm." Oh, he almost fell in. The rabbit family snuggled down for the night. "Maybe tonight we will see the animals Santa," Big Snowshoe whispered. "Snore," Little Snow mumbled at him and fell asleep. Big Snowshoe was wide awake. Suddenly, he had an idea. He crept out of bed and went down to the stream. Big Snowshoe picked up a lacy piece of broken ice. He carried them all home to make ice chimes. He pulled up strands of hedge grass. He tied them to the delicate pieces of ice and hung them from branches. There was no wind, so the ice pieces stayed still. It was midnight when a silvery note rang through the forest, and then another and another. It was Big Snowshoe's ice chimes. The rabbit family and the other animals woke up and jumped out of bed. "Is it the animal Santa?" they wondered. The animals did not see anyone or any tracks in the snow. Then, as if falling from the moon, a bundle of sweet clover landed at their feet. Mysterious. The animals looked up as one gift after another fell from the sky. Were they from the animals Santa? A white shape flew silently above them. Little Snow shrugged. "It's only a bird," he said. As if he had heard, the snowy owl turned back and called out, "Merry Christmas, little friends!" "Everyone, look!" Little Snow pointed at the sky. "It's the animals Santa!" "Oh, can you see the beautiful snowy owl? And he has a big basket of gifts." Little Snow waved at the snowy owl and whispered into the night, "Animal Santa, now I know that you are truly, truly true." I love that story. I hope you enjoyed that, boys and girls. I think part of this story is about giving good gifts. Not only is it a mystery, but it's about giving good gifts. And our last story is sort of a combination of our first two. It's a story about friendship and about giving good gifts. And you know, Santa Claus always says to me, he says, "Mrs. C, it is so much better to give than to receive." I think about that sometimes after he says it, and well, Santa's usually right. So that's just something to think about. But giving gifts, friendship, they're some of the best parts of life. Now this is a book by Tad Hills, and it's called Mistletoe. Perhaps you've read some of her other books. It's about a little mouse, and she has a big, big friend. Mistletoe greets the chilly morning. Snow is falling. What a beautiful day. Finally, it feels like Christmas, she thinks. By the time she gets to Norwell's house, the snow is almost up to her knees. Norwell, come out! It's snowing, Mistletoe calls. Norwell watches Mistletoe. It sure looks cold out there, Norwell says to himself. Too cold for this elephant. There he is at the window. Mistletoe, it's cold out there. Why don't you come in? Sit by the fire and have some tea. Just a drop for me and a cookie crumb, please, says Mistletoe. And after tea, we can go for a walk in the snow. Oh my, what a tiny cup. Can you even see it? It's so small. Just mouse-sized. Norwell and Mistletoe sit by the warm and toasty fire. Isn't this nice, Mistletoe? Asks Norwell. Oh, yes, indeed it is, Mistletoe agrees. But wouldn't it also be nice to take a stroll in the snow? Later, Mistletoe helps Norwell decorate his tree. After we top it off with a star, can we go out and catch snowflakes on our tongues? Says Mistletoe. I don't know. Norwell walks to the window. He watches the snow fall. Brrr, he says. It looks even colder out there now, Mistletoe. I think I'll stay home, where it's cozy. So Mistletoe puts on her hat, coat, scarf, and mittens and sets out on her walk home. She soon finds herself in a field of snow. As evening approaches, the world turns blue. She stops. She is as quiet and still as she has ever been. Norwell should be here with me to listen to the falling snow, she thinks. Suddenly, she has an idea. Mistletoe cannot get home fast enough. When she gets inside, she tosses off her snow-covered clothes, climbs into her attic, and finds just what she needs. Now, can you see all of these boxes? They all have the same word labeled on them. It says yarn. I wonder what Mistletoe's going to do with yarn. She gathers her yarn, settles in with her knitting needles, and gets to work. You can never have too much yarn, she says to herself. Mistletoe knits whenever she can. She knits when the sun comes up and when the sun is down. She knits while she reads. She knits while she makes cookies for Santa. Oh, that's so thoughtful. She even knits in the bath, which isn't easy. Days pass, Christmas nears, Mistletoe knits and knits, using every bit of yarn she can find around her house. Mistletoe realizes two things. One, sometimes you don't have enough yarn. And two, elephants are big. She stops at her favorite shop and brings home as much yarn as she can. Finally, on Christmas Eve, Mistletoe puts down her knitting needles. Her fingers are tired. Her work is done. She watches the snow fall outside her window and thinks of Norwell. Oh, Christmas. She smiles. Then Mistletoe nestles into her soft knitting and falls into a deep sleep. The next morning, Mistletoe opens her eyes as the sun fills her living room. Christmas is here! The cookies are gone, and beautifully wrapped gifts have been left under the tree. Thank you, Santa, she calls up the chimney. Merry Christmas! Opening her presents will have to wait, because Mistletoe has other plans. First, she puts on her Christmas dress. Then she carefully folds the gift she has made for Norwell, adds a red ribbon, and squeezes the gift through the front door. Mice have very small front doors. Mistletoe pulls the heavy gift behind her. "Merry Christmas, Norwell! I have something for you," she calls when she reaches her friend's house. "Merry Christmas, Mistletoe," Norwell says. Come in, come in. I have something special for you too." Norwell hands Mistletoe the most beautifully wrapped package she has ever seen. Mistletoe carefully opens it and discovers a painting of her in the snow. "It's perfect, Norwell." "You do love snow, Mistletoe." "Indeed I do." When it's Norwell's turn to open his gift, Mistletoe asks, "Do you know what it is, Norwell?" "I don't know what it is, but I love it." "Boys and girls, do you know what it is?" "I'm guessing it might be a blanket. What do you think?" "We'll find out." "Oh, Mistletoe, it is so colorful and soft," Norwell exclaims. "It will keep you toasty and warm," Mistletoe tells Norwell, "outside in the snow." "You do like to be toasty and warm, Norwell," said Mistletoe. "Indeed I do," agreed Norwell. And he was. I love this story. Again, it's about giving and it's about friendship. Mistletoe, what a happy story. She's quite a mouse. Well, I think it is time for me to be going. I have to head back to the North Pole. I have so much cooking to do because it's almost Christmas. And Santa Claus, well, just between you and me, I have to pack 3 lunch boxes for the sleigh. Well, they're not really lunch boxes. They're actually suitcases, plus a bag of cookies just for snacks. So I have to get going, but thank you so much for joining me, listening to these 3 stories. I hope you enjoyed them and that you'll come to the Blount County Public Library and find some Christmas books and other books for yourself. Thank you, and until next year, I'm Mrs. C. Bye-bye.